things turned out alright. Oh my god! You know what? That's fine. That's totally fine. Welcome to Overtake. I'm Ermin, and this is the amazing Pacific Coast Highway. Located approximately 300 miles north of LA, Route 1 is a stretch of weathered public highway. This 23-kilometer section of road is roughly the same length as the Nordschleife, laden with blind turns, sweeping chicanes, sudden drops, and not to mention, other cars. Originally started 5 years ago by Phoenix 77 in memory of his brother, he found himself distracted when he started another little-known Assetto Corsa free roam that you've likely never heard of, the LA Canyons. Coming back to his original project, Phoenix has just officially released version 1.0 of Pacific Coast. In order to put it through its paces, we're jumping into a modest little driver's car that's attainable to the everyday person, the McLaren P1 Hypercar. Loaded with a hybrid powertrain, DRS, and more bells and whistles than a drill sergeant, this should roughly approximate the sort of experience you'd have driving the West Coast in your mum's Civic. So let's hit it. By that I mean the highway, but also the subscribe button. Subscribe to Overtake for more attainable hypercar videos. Alright, here we are on the Pacific Coast Highway, a PCH lovingly named by its fanboys all around the world, in our very affordable, very attainable McLaren P1 Hypercar. Let's take this slowly. We're going to get onto the highway, make sure that we check left and right, and blitz out. Going to take it nice and easy until we get the tires up to temperature, see what we're running into here. A very, very scenic run. We're of course here in mid-June with the sun gently caressing the horizon there as we drive to the north. Got some very pretty cars driving with us here, it would seem. And a lot of glare coming from that sun there too. And oh, okay, the tires are very cold. A lot of understeer. That could have been a potential disaster. Very narrowly averted there as we just snake our way up the highway for the first time. Just really feeling out the grip level on this well-worn, weathered road. And what can only be described as a work of art more than an automobile. Some very, very nicely modeled parked cars on the left there. It's very, very reminiscent of the LA Canyons. I can see how this is the same continent. As we push out, we use our electric motor for the first time to overtake the McLaren there, the 570S. And as fate would have it, whenever you get onto a scenic coastal stretch of road, you always run into one of these trains, don't you? And of course, it has to be one of my people, an M4, I believe. Gonna give him a bit of flash him a little bit, maybe. Make him realize that we're here. And we have about 900 horses ready to be unleashed upon this unsuspecting stretch of highway. Or perhaps a very suspecting stretch of highway as we go around. Yes, it's a blind corner, but we only take one car. We're behind the SLS now. The mighty AMG. No, we got a car coming, slot in behind the Cayman. This is really, it's a game of patience. As we make him aware that we're here. Some light flashing, some light friendly flashing. You know, GT3 style flashing. Not passive-aggressive flashing. Taking it nice and easy here through the hairpin. Don't want to do anything too silly, too quickly. That's a change of lighting here, beautiful. As we get out, the light shafts absolutely blinding us again. What a gorgeous baby blue that Cayman is as we pelt out, smashing the Kers, or the MGUK, or whatever it's called, a hybrid powertrain. Holding that push to pass button. We of course also have DRS in this car. It's use at your own risk on this road, that's for sure. Not many open straights one would want to use them on, and we come up behind an R34 Skyline V-Spec classic, probably worth as much as the P1 these days. Not really, but you know, it's worth a fair bit. And we're stuck in a bit of a train again, of course. Nothing if not a cautious and supremely law-abiding driver as I push on onto the oncoming lane. Smash that hybrid motor one more time. Let's get behind the four-wheel drive here. Is this a Porsche? No, it's an Audi. Alright, there we go. Home free. Free at last. Heading off into the sunset. Like our favorite action movies of yesteryear. As we snake our way down what can only be described as an amazingly fun stretch of highway. An astoundingly just engaging bit of road. I can see why it's very renowned and very beloved by most of its... What's the word? It's not really fanboys, is it? It's by its devotees, if you will. It's kind of like the LA Canyons in its own right. I wonder how many car reviews have been shot up here. Some more parked cars on the right there, of course. You can hear the tires screeching as our, I think, Trofeos, our hypercar Trofeos are struggling to hold onto the road surface. They're certainly not slicks, that's for sure. So we push past yet another baby blue Cayman. It's a bit of a coincidence how many of those there are. I'm sure it has nothing to do with memory limitations. Completely organic. Sheer accidents. Ah, beautiful Lamborghini coming at us. There we go. We're gaining a bit of confidence now, going past the M4 one more time. Going past the 570S again. Let's say, some of these paint jobs, they recur a lot. You know? They recur a lot. We have another Lamborghini, I believe. Yes, another Lamborghini flies past us. Another R34. There's a lot of Lamborghinis and R34s and Porsches here. What a coincidence. West Coast, a lot of rich people. I think that was a Mustang there, though, just for a change. That's something I'd expect to see more of on a stretch of road like this. Alright, as we start to get more confident, we're establishing a bit more space between us and the cars around as we come up to the hairdresser mobile, an MX-5. Something tells me with, 1/9 the horsepower of this car, it may not quite be a challenge for us. We're behind a Lotus here now, I think. Very, very fun drivers' cars. Of course, nowhere near as attainable and affordable as our P1. Very, very well strategically placed parked cars here, I've got to say. It really gives the sensation that the highway is lived in, that there's people stopping by, doing the scenic route. Really exciting. Actually reminds me of a stretch of road that we have here in Melbourne, Australia called the Great Ocean Road. Very, very similar to this, except you're driving along the southern coast of the country rather than the western. Okay, as we push on ahead into the sunset. Always, always into the sunset. Still feeling out the idyllic place. Obviously, you want to make sure we adhere to our lane. We don't want to be doing anything anything of questionable legality other than exceeding the speed limit by a couple 100 kilometers. You take it nice and easy. There's certainly a lot of traffic here for a highway, I've got to say. So we make our way behind the Porsche, was it Cayenne Turbo? Yet another R34. A lot of rich people here on the West Coast. My lord, what is this? The JDM Fest. Oh, almost risked it. Almost. I'm getting a little bit too adventurous here. So we push past the M4, smashing that hybrid motor. Burning up the rears. In fact, I don't even know whether this car is four-wheel drive. I would like to think that it is. There's no way 900 brake horsepower only to the rear wheels is a good, sane proposition. But then again, perhaps McLaren is not sane nor a good proposition. As the highway opens up here, very scenic, very pretty. Oh, as the tires are just being punished through there to adhere to the road surface. Definitely experiencing some understeer in this car. Alright, as we push on out. Oh, it's so close. So close. That's fine. That was my plan all along, you see. So we come up behind what looks to be a Hurricane. As a Hurricane, that is probably the one vehicle here that can, match us. Match us 1-to-1. Or get close to, anyway. We zip past the R34, unfortunately with its archaic 280 brake horsepower, not quite a match for us as we totally mean to do that again. Oh my god. That was... You know when you get your license and, you've been driving for all of like 3 months and nothing bad has ever happened to you, so you have all the confidence in the world? I feel like that's mentally where I'm at currently. So I just really paced myself after that last run and okay, good. One of the great things about having about 900 brake horsepower is that you can do things like that. You only really risk your life for a split second at a time as we really take it easy. That's a lot of traffic for a fairly rural highway, I've got to say. Props to you, Phoenix. You are anticipating the global population boom in about 20 years. I have no doubt that LA's infamous traffic jams will extend all the way out here in time. Alright, now we're getting into a flow. Now we get into a rhythm. You know, blinded by the light shafts as we are. I mean, really, how can one complain? It's so purty. So very purty. Not so much that van. Not so much its silhouette in the sunset, but, you know. Not everyone can have an affordable and hugely attainable P1. Alright, as we go... Oh, okay, alright, you're getting onto the dirt there, okay. Things turned out alright. Oh my god! You know what? That's fine. That's totally fine. That totally wasn't on me. There was a guy doing like a 3-point turn there. He totally shouldn't have been doing a 3-point turn. I could have easily cleared everyone there in one pass. Oh man. Traffic. But what's to say? We're coming up to the end of our run and the end of our northern stretch of highway. I believe there's a southern stretch that's about equally as long, I think for about 40 kilometers in total, unless I'm mistaken, but this is the run that we've done here tonight, ending at a nice petrol station here, a servo as we call it here in Australia. So we gingerly roll in to park our car, overlooking the beautiful sunset here at around about 7 p.m. 1900 hours for you Europeans, overlooking the west coast of the United States, off yonder into Hawaii land or whatever. My geography is really bad. But one thing that is really good is my appreciation of wonderful modded tracks. So my props to Phoenix, an absolutely stellar job on this track. Very, very fun little bit of road. I'm sure you're going to have endless amounts of fun with your friends on the public servers online. So by all means, do grab it in the link down below. Make sure to subscribe to Overtake for future Assetto Corsa hyper uber realistic reshade footage with yours truly, Ermin Hamidovic. Until next time, folks, I'll see you and have a very nice day.